10th, 2019. May we have roll call?
Agency members Devine,
Here.
Garpetian,
Here.
Quintero,
Here.
Agajanian,
Here.
Mayor Najarian.
Here. May we have your report?
I apologize, Mr.
So we're doing this-
Agency Chair. I'm just slowing down to make sure GTV 6 is
Okay.
catching up with the order.
Did they spell his name right this time?
We will find out.
We'll
soon
find
enough.
out. They're in trouble if they don't.
But I do want to remind the body that we also have the joint housing and city council meeting.
Yes. Well,
The agenda for the December 10th, 2019 special public meeting of the successor agency was posted on Thursday, December 5th, 2019 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
thank you. And what's the first item?
Minutes, approval of the minutes of a special successor agency meeting of December 11th, 2018.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. If there's no objections, the minutes will be accepted as presented by unanimous consent. Next item, please.
On the agenda is Director of Community Development regarding recognized obligation payment schedule for July 2020 through June 2021, ROPS 2020 through 21. Two is a successor agency resolution adopted in 2021, including administrative budget for the same period. Be a successor agency resolution approving the application of proceeds of 2011 subordinate taxable tax allocation bonds to defease said bonds and approving related documents and official action.
Thank you. Ms. Beers?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the successor agency will go directly to Tamar Sad, who will give you the report on this item. Tamar?
Hello, Chair Najarian and agency members. The Dissolution Act requires successor agencies to prepare an annual recognized obligation payment schedule, or ROPS, in order to receive tax increment funding from the Redevelopment Property Tax Trust Fund, referred to as RPTTF. The ROPS is used as the agency spending plan for the upcoming fiscal year. In addition to RPTTF, the agency also has bond proceeds, unused RPTTF from prior periods, and other funds consisting of property sale proceeds, loan payments, and interest revenue to fulfill our payment obligations. The majority of the ROPS funding requests are for debt service payments on bonds. Of the $33 million requested funding, bond debt service payments represent approximately $22.5 million. Other spending requests include several long-term agreements, including Disney and the city agency loan. I would like to note that the city agency loan payment amount is determined by a formula in the Dissolution Act and includes RPTTF distribution amount for the next period, which is reported on January 2nd, 2020. As staff does not have the complete formula at this time, the number listed on the ROPS is an estimate and will be updated after January 2nd. The remaining items on the ROPS reflect contractual services and administrative costs associated with operating and completing the wind-down activities for the agency. Any unspent money is calculated at the end of the ROPS period and reported back to the state. Aside from approving the ROPS today, agency members are also being asked to approve the defeasance of the 2011 bonds. During the last ROPS cycle, the Department of Finance did order the City of Glendale to defease the 2011 bonds, which includes depositing $28 million of bond proceeds into an escrow account to make future debt service payments. Assuming successor agency approval today, the ROPS will next be presented to the County Consolidated Oversight Board on January 9th, 2020, and then will be submitted to the Department of Finance by the February 1st, 2020 deadline. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions the agency members may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Ms. Sad? Don't go down. I have a question. So the 28 for the 2011 bond defeasance, 28 million was the bill that Senator Portantino put through, and that I and maybe others had gone to testify at the committee, but was vetoed by the governor.
Correct.
So we're ordered to start paying back the 2011 bonds to defease them.
We have been making bond payments this entire time, but we've been doing so with requested RPTTF. This past ROP cycle, instead of requesting RPTTF, the Department of Finance ordered us to use the bond proceeds, which are currently unavailable for other uses, aside from that legislation which was proposed. And so they would like us to use the bond proceeds instead of requesting RPTTF.
So I had heard in consultation meetings that we had that he may make another attempt at freeing up that money in the budget cycle. How much are we paying each year to defease those bonds? I mean, if it comes back, let's say next budget cycle, is it just, are these like 30-year bonds or?
Mr. Chairman,
Do we know
they retired sometime in mid-2020s, 24, 25. I want to say that the debt service payment is about $5 or $6 million a year.
So
we-
every year that we
Right.
don't steal that, not steal, grab that money back, we'll be losing $5 million that we're defeasing
But
the bonds for.
Today, we hold those funds, our treasurer holds those funds. We'll put them in an escrow account, all of them, and then there will be a schedule to pay out that debt service. It's our hope that it does come back and gets approved, and maybe we get to use that money for affordable housing. And just a note.
Let's make sure that when we do put it in the escrow fund, and we prepare escrow instructions, correct, that we keep into mind the possibility that there will be further state action that would free those bonds and return them to us. I don't want the other party, which is probably the Department of Finance, saying, oh, no, that was a state law. This is our escrow instructions, which are separate. So let's anticipate some action and make sure that we're not painted into a corner with the escrow instructions for the.
We did in talking to special counsel, and we'll double check, make sure that that's the
That we
case.
still have that. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Sad? Therefore, would someone like to make a motion?
I move the item.
Second.
Okay, your item 2A and B, 2 items, seconded by Mr.
Yes.
Karpetian. Roll call, please.
Agency members Devine,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Quintero,
Yes.
Agajanian,
Yes.
Mayor Najarian.
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
The successor agency is adjourned.